What's up, YouTube? Sean Forney here. It's been a little while since I've done a video, and I have a good reason for that. I'm on crutches. I had a meniscus transplant, so I'm just now starting to get around a little bit better. I'm going to be on these crutches. They're going to become my best friends. I can't even drive for about another 5 or 6 weeks, maybe a little sooner if my physical therapist let me. But I've got some cool stuff in my garage. This blue car right here, I've actually had that for, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, but it's an Audi S4 4.2 liter, so you can imagine why I haven't done any content on it yet, because it's been in the shop for a long time. And then I just picked this up. This just got delivered today. It's a 1997 deep jewel green limited edition, anniversary edition, original turbid automatic car, but it has a T56 Granis, T56 Magnum, 8.8 inch rear end, etc. True Track LSD. It's done right. And then on top of that, I got another fun car over here. I got another FD. FDs, if you've watched my videos, they are my favorite chassis. You're looking at my 2 favorite cars ever made right here. Supra, FD, RX7, 2 favorite cars. So I got a lot of content creation coming up on these 3 cars, really. I'm just gonna do just a video just because I've been stuck in my house for weeks. I needed to get out. I wanted to get out in my garage. So I'm gonna do a little video. Stay tuned. I'll show you what I got in here. Plus I gotta do a video of my wife's new car that we got. I got a bunch of videos that I have to do. I just need to recover a little bit so I can be a little bit more nimble. I'm a little slow right now. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, as usual, comment below. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Stay tuned. So let's start with the one that I've had the longest, okay? So that car right there, while it might not look like much, back in 2007, I had an Audi RS4, which is the high output version of this 4.2 liter V8 that is in this S4 Avant. I am a huge fan of station wagons. I mean, I freaking love me a good station wagon. What is it, an E55 AMG, these S4 Avants, the RS6, the new ones. I would own one if they were in a manual transmission. But what makes this particular car unique is it is I'm gonna hobble over here. It's one of 7 in this color that is offered with a proper 6-speed manual gearbox. And it has the Recaro leather seats with the Alcantara inserts, heated seats in the front and rear, but it is a dad wagon. I call it the Dagon for short. Now, this car came to me from Houston, Texas, found it on Facebook Marketplace. You know, a crooked, lying, car dealership. Now, I know one bad car dealership gives them all a bad name, but this guy was a liar. He told me, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Now, luckily, the car has a good history, has a good maintenance history at Audi. He told me that he thought the chains were done, but it wasn't making any noise. Well, as soon as I got it here, of course, on cold start, it had the slap, the timing chain slap. So that being said, of course, I had to go and undertake the massive job at finding somebody willing to do it. It's, the book calls for an 18-hour job, but did the timing chains, pulled the heads off, had to replace a couple of exhaust valves. We probably killed this engine at the perfect time. If it ran any longer, maybe even 5 minutes longer, it would have grenaded itself. But while we were at it, we put a stage 3 JHM Motorsports clutch, lightweight flywheel. We got rid of the dual mass flywheel, which I kind of regret because it was so smooth, but it's a perfect setup. And this is by far, again, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it is one of my favorite manual transmission cars that I've ever owned. And that's saying a lot. Like, it is just a fun car to drive overall. All-wheel drive, it's got enough power to have fun, and it's a manual transmission. Now let's go to this bad boy. This is an original 1994 chassis, 85,000 original miles on the chassis. Interior is black with the suede inserts. Interior, I would say, is probably 85%. It's not perfect, but I have $50,000 in receipts for this car. and it has a built, bored and stroked LS3. It's got a bunch of good sicky parts. It has the factory diff with the COS 1.5 way diff. It's just done right. It has Öhlins coilover suspension. They went cheap on the wheels. They're knockoff CCWs or BBS LMs or whatever the case is. So that's going to change. But overall, this is a phenomenal platform. It has a T56 Magnum. It's a really good platform. The only thing that this car needs, now looking at it from here, you can't really tell. It's definitely a good 15 or 20 footer, but it needs some love on the body. It's the original paint. It needs some love, so I'm going to get the car repainted this factory red, and then I will be done with this car because I'm going to swap out the wheels, put some proper wheels on it. I'll probably get some work charcoal S1s like I had on my last Supra and put them on this thing. And then I'll be done with the car and just drive it because it's perfect as it is. It's reliable. It's 500 horsepower, just over 2,800 pounds. It's a rocket ship. So this is probably going to stay in the collection for a little while so I can enjoy it once I get better. Now, this bad boy. This car, I sold my last Supra just over a month ago. I sold my second Supra about 2 months ago. And obviously I realized that as these cars continue to age gracefully, I'm never going to be able to replace them for what I can sell them for now because the prices on Supras keep on appreciating. They're not a depreciating asset. As a matter of fact, none of these cars I have in this garage are a depreciating asset. They appreciate, every single one of them in here. And that's why I strategically look for these rare, sought-after, desirable cars. So now my black one, if you remember, was a perfect car, 60,000 original miles, but it still had things that I wanted to do to it to make it even better. This car, the owner of it has $40,000 in receipts to make it like it is now, pristine. I mean, this car, for the most part, except for that little sagging part right there on the underneath the hood pad, but this car is perfect all around. There's nothing else that I need to do to this car, with the exception of right now it's tuned. It's 800 horsepower on E85. It's not flex fuel. I'm a fan of the E85 whenever I want to have some fun and go fast, but letting the car sit with the 85 as little as I drive these cars, I'd rather have a flex fuel tune so I can leave it sit with 93 in it, make 550, 600 horsepower on pump gas, and that's plenty for me. I don't need 800 horsepower. It's 600 horsepower on low boost. But it has the CCW Classics. It's got every 1,300 cc injectors, dual Walbro fuel pumps, precision turbo, HKS manifold, Koyo rad, tile blow-off valve and wastegate. It's got everything you would ever want in a Supra, and it's one of 503. But what makes this car so unique is, and you Supra heads out there will know, what's rare about this particular car. Now, it has all VIN tags. It has all the factory. This was an option at dealerships to get the VIN stamped on the windows, so it has all the original glass all the way around. Most of these deep jewel green Supras had tan leather. This is a factory optioned black leather car. I know there's not many of them. I don't know how many of them there are out there, but I've never, ever seen another one in deep jewel green with black leather. And I'm sure there's some out there. If you're a Supra guy, go ahead and comment below and let me know if you have one or if you've seen one. I just have never seen one. So that made this car a little extra desirable for me. Okay, so plus it has the T56 transmission. Again, I'm not a fan of any car that's an automatic. And does it hurt the value? No. I mean, this car is not as valuable as a 6-speed limited edition V160 car, but it is a factory turbo car, and the work's already been done. $20,000 between the transmission, rear end, drive shaft, axles, and the labor to make this thing a manual transmission car. I have the receipts for it. It's been done within the past 1,000 miles. So this car is a limited edition, 1997. It has just over 100,000 miles on the chassis, but it's perfect. I mean, it's literally perfect. You're not going to find flaws on this car with the exception of right here. That's the only flaw I've found on this whole entire car since I've had it. So that being said, I have some pretty cool cars in the garage right now. Now that it's getting to be fall here in West Virginia, I'm probably going to postpone. And again, it's strategic with me. I'm trying to wait until the prices on a 992 GT3 come down to where I think they're back to reality. They haven't hit yet. And plus, I might have just got myself an allocation at MSRP from a dealer in Florida. I've been looking, I've been calling every Porsche dealer that you can think of to get an allocation, even if I had to pay 20, 30 grand over MSRP. And I finally found one and I said, how much do you sell over? And they said, we don't sell over, we sell at MSRP. So it might take me 2 years to get it, but I'm going to order me a 992 GT3 at MSRP from this dealer in Florida. And I'm very glad that they saw my post that I was looking for a GT3 and reached out to me. So again, everybody, as soon as my leg gets better, it has to stay in full lock position because I had a meniscus transplant. It has to stay like this for another 4 weeks. So that's whenever I'll be able to slowly start to drive these cars again. I expect that I'll be able to drive my TRX hopefully in the next week or two because I'm only driving it 4 miles from my office and it's not a lot of stop and go traffic. But again, I wanted to at least provide everybody with an update while I've been silent. It's because I had surgery, but I have some cool cars to do some content creation on, including my wife's new car, which I'm excited to share with everybody whenever I have time to do a video on it. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. If you have any questions about these cars, again, rare car, not necessarily rare, but it is a 94 chassis with 84 or 85,000 original miles on the chassis. So still pretty rare. And with a proper LS swap. Again, much more reliable than the rotary motors. You rotary lovers are going to hate my guts. I love the rotary engines too, but they're not reliable. And I don't care who you say builds them and they're reliable, you're always going to have problems with them. That's it. But again, I got some really, really cool cars right now. I'm really glad that I got another Supra. After I sold my last one, I realized how much I missed it, how important it was to me. And this one is going to replace that. And I don't have to do a thing to this car, except I'm going to get a BTI gauge, a 4-inch, 4.2-inch BTI gauge, and the flex fuel. It's run on an AEM Infinity V2, which is the same as my other one. It has a slightly bigger turbo than my other one, but for the most part, it's a very comparable build, equally as impressive, equally as fast, but to me, this car is much more special because it's a 97 limited edition, one of 503 in that color, and it's got black leather. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned. Any questions, comment below. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be pumping out some videos once I can walk, hopefully in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night.